there's been talks and rumors. It's Collin Sexton and the Cavs. I like the Cavs and I like the Celtics. So those are pretty much the only two NBA teams I'll watch. This makes absolutely no sense. Collin Sexton is the best player you've drafted, I would say, since Kyrie Irving. That was like 2010, 11, something like that. And it's not even close. Collin Sexton has improved his points per game each of the last 3 seasons. He's improved his field goal percentage each of the last 3 seasons. People talk about him, not passing the ball, which is true. If you watch at times, he does not pass the ball much. But his first 2 seasons, he averaged 3 assists per game. This past season, he averaged 4.5. I mean, he is improving in every single asset of the game, it seems like. Sexton, you cannot trade him. If you trade him, you are absolutely screwed. Darius Garland has showed some potential. Isaac Okoro was a rookie last season, but I'd much rather trading Garland than I am Sexton. Sexton is your future. I mean, he's your best player, and it's not even close. If you want to be in the playoffs this season or, the following year after that, Sexton has to be on your team. And, the Cavs did start off pretty good this past season. They went around, I think they were 10-10. They beat the Nets, I think, back-to-back games, which was just insane. And then after that, they just absolutely sucked. I think they were like 10-30 or something like that to finish the season. Like, horrific. But Sexton, he's your best player. He's your best player in forever. He has shown some, great plays. I think he's going to be one of the better point guards in the league in years to come. And if you trade him, to somebody, I don't know, like a point guard needy team, I would not be surprised at all. In a year or two, he's going to be a top 5 point guard. I really think he's one of the more underrated point guards. The only issue with him, though, is he needs to pass the ball more. But like I said, he is starting to pass more. If the Cavs trade Sexton, their organization is already one of the worst in the NBA, and it's not even debatable. But this would even, help their case more, and definitely being one of the worst organizations in the NBA. It would be a horrible decision by Cleveland.
Yeah, I think it would be as well. I'm not sure if Collin Sexton is headed into his final year or not in his contract. But if he is, then I completely understand why they would look to be trading him, because I think they know they have probably 0% chance in re-signing him back to the Cavs, which is maybe why they're looking to trade him, maybe to get assets in return instead of letting him just walk, which I would get, because as the organization, sometimes you do have to look out for the best thing for the organization. And although it might not be best for the future, if you already know you can't retain the guy, why hold on to him for one more year if you know he's not going to return? I think that's probably why they're looking to trade him. Collin Sexton, I think he's a very good underrated guard. I think if he was on a different team, you probably would see the assist numbers go up. You probably would see a lot of other categories increase, especially if you paired him with a LeBron in LA, or if you paired him with, maybe, I don't know what he would be like with Luka. I don't think him and Luka would mesh well. But I think if you put him on one of those top tier teams, I think you'd see a lot of his numbers improve. I like Collin Sexton a lot. He's a very talented player. I don't know where he would fit best just based on his skills, like what I've seen from him. But I know, I don't feel like he's going to remain in Cleveland, because I think it's more or less he probably is sick and tired of losing, which I get. Losing's not fun. But if he's also sick and tired of losing, being in Cleveland probably just also sucks, because if Cleveland never drafts LeBron James, they would still be considered, and they are still considered, probably one of the worst organizations in the NBA. But if they never draft LeBron James, no one would ever even care to talk about them, and who knows if they would even still be in Cleveland. I've thought about that quite a few times.
Yeah, I agree 100%. You make a great point there. And, Sexton has played 3 years. And honestly, I don't know with the NBA if they have like a 4-year and then a 5th-year option like the NFL or not, like in contracts for first-round picks. But so he has like a year or 2 left on his contract. And something with Cleveland, though, which I was talking about it on my last episode, and a team like Cleveland, a team like Detroit, teams like that, not top market teams and not good teams by any means, you're going to have to overpay players to stay on your roster, like insanely overpay them. Jarrett Allen's a free agent this season, and there's rumors that Cavs might re-sign him. But I was reading something the other day. Could be 4 years for $100 million, a max contract. I like Jarrett Allen. I think he's a good player. I do not think he's worth $25 million at all. The absolute max I'm paying him would be around 16 or 17, something like that. And like let's say you would sign him, not to mention you have Kevin Love, who is easily has the worst contract in the NBA right now. I mean, he's so injury prone. He has a horrible contract. Nobody will trade with him at all. The only situation that I could kind of see, and I would not be totally upset about if Sexton were to be traded, which I don't even know how this would happen, is if they package Kevin Love in the Sexton deal. I think that's the only way, that's the only positive you can really get out of trading Sexton. But to me, if you trade Sexton, you're going to probably get a nice, good player. But if you trade Love as well, I mean, there's going to be a chance you're going to have to maybe give up some picks just to get rid of his contract. We saw that a couple of weeks ago with Boston. They gave up a first-round pick just to get rid of Kemba Walker's contract, which contract is absolutely ridiculous right now. But it's very interesting with Sexton. I would like to see him stay in Cleveland, but I don't know with his future contract, whatever it is, it's going to be, if he would stay in Cleveland, it's going to be absolutely massive because they're so desperate and they need a top guy, and he's the only top guy in my opinion who actually has a chance of possibly signing in Cleveland.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think Kevin Love would ever – I don't think anybody would even take that deal strictly because everybody knows Kevin Love's contract is just so bad. I think the only way you see Kevin Love get out of Cleveland is a buyout happens.